Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to week 4 of our organizational behavior class. I was getting ready to say something different there, but I hope that you've enjoyed the class. We've completed 3 weeks so far and talked about a lot of different subjects. And I do want to commend you on some good discussion posts, good assignments. I know that I'm really enjoying reading what you have to say as we talk about these various subjects. A lot of good ideas and thoughts out there, so keep up the good work. This week we're going to talk a little bit more about motivation. We talked about Mayo and Hertzberg and Maslow and Taylor and some of those kind of things last week. I've introduced in some of my comments to you equity theory and expectancy theory. We've seen psychological contracts and so forth in terms of motivation. And what I'd like to challenge you to do is to think about those in terms of real world, both for yourself and for the work environment that you're in. A lot of times we look at these things and think they're just academic things. They're things that I need to remember to pass the test and then I never have to worry about them anymore. But if you go back and look as a leader or a manager, you can see some of these things in action in terms of your own life, in terms of your significant other or children's lives, and even in the people at work. And it will give you clues in terms of management and leadership, in terms of things to do and ways to act as a leader that motivate people. You can even see things in your own life and understand, why am I thinking this way? Why do I do this? And I think it's very helpful. This week we are going to talk a little bit more about the motivation stuff. One of the things we'll talk about is Edwin Locke's goal setting theory. We see that in a lot of places today. You may not have known that Locke invented it, if you will, or discovered it, or wrote about it, whatever you'd like to call it. But basically, the goal setting theory argues that someone who sets very specific goals, writes them down, and is very specific in their goals, are much more likely to achieve those goals, are much more likely to have high performance in the workplace or school or what have you. And so he studied, the psychology and the motivational factors behind goal setting theory. Think about it. A lot of organizations pay a bonus. Bonus is based on us hitting certain goals. Schools give grades. The grades are based on the amount of work that you do and the effort levels that you put into it. Maybe you have a child and you give them an allowance if they do a certain amount of work or get the to-do list done. I know that I make a lot of to-do lists, and when I can check things off my to-do list, I feel good. When I look at the to-do list and there are things I haven't done, then I feel like I haven't achieved what I could do. So goal setting theory is a very important and practical theory of motivation, something that you can use in your life, both personally and at work. And so we'll be talking about those sorts of things. Not long ago I read a book that was put out. Maybe you can find it in the library. Write it down, make it happen. And researchers showed that those who wrote down their goals, who wrote out their plans, and took that time, were more likely to achieve their goals. So it's interesting. From this, we've heard the arise of what they call SMART goals, and that's an acronym for specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound. We'll talk about that during the class. So big conversations this week on goal setting theory, something very practical, both from a leadership standpoint and from a personal standpoint, if you will. So that's kind of what we'll be talking about this week. We'll also be talking about some other strategies and motivation things as we go along with them. Now, for a few housekeeping issues real quick. Again, I do want to commend you on a job well done so far with the discussion posts, assignments, etc. Keep up the good work. I would encourage you to go out and look at the syllabus and look at the guidelines for assignments, guidelines for discussion posts. Make sure you're following those in order to get the best grade that you can possibly do it. This week is week 4, so it is the last week before our Christmas break. I will be posting and working this week with you, but after Saturday night, you have time off until the first of the year. Those dates are out there in the course syllabus and information section. But once we finish up this week, we'll take a break. You'll get to spend some time with family, friends, rest up your brain from all the school and work and so forth. And I hope that you'll have a happy holiday, Merry Christmas, and that everything will be good and safe for you during this period of time. I will be doing office hours this week. It'll be Thursday night at 8 p.m. on Collaborate. This is totally voluntary. It's not graded. It's just a time that I come online and give you a chance to log in, talk with me, ask questions, or whatever. So if you're interested in dropping in, I'll be in Collaborate, like I said, 8 o'clock Eastern Time on Thursday night. So I look forward to talking about some more interesting topics with you this week. I hope you have a great week.